I was raised in a household that was very focused on making and then saving money. So in this video, I'm going to go through 14 of my best habits and tricks that can help do those two things. Make first, save, and hopefully invest after. Now between the ages of 18 and 25, because that's my main age demographic on YouTube, the median net worth is $5,500. Now, this is targeted to people who are making or worth generally less than that. Not always, but generally less, because I think these tips and tricks will really help you out. Not only that, but can you please keep that number, $5,500 in mind. It's not financial advice, but let's get into the video. I hope you enjoy these tips and tricks, and let's get into it. Now, first things first, money is a game. Just like Monopoly, the person who played the game 1,000 times will generally beat the guy who's played 5 times. Just the same way in life and money in general. The person who puts themselves out more and continuously works hard will generally do better in terms of making money. And although Monopoly is still a chance game, there are a lot of tiny loopholes that can help you put odds in your favor of success in the money game. There are a lot of strategies. Maybe you want to diversify your houses all across the board, and that increase the chance of someone landing on you and paying rent. Or you can condense all your money and buy hotels on Mayfair or Boardwalk. Let me know in the comments which one's which in the original game. I'm not 100% sure, but these tiny loopholes can help benefit you in the game of money. The idea is to keep playing the game, make a lot of money, and then eventually win. Now, number 2 is the mindset of money. Now, a lot of people talk about how, oh, the rich get richer, or money doesn't grow on trees, or I work 9 to 5, I work really hard. Why am I not rich? The reason why is your mindset around money. People don't love their job and they don't want to work outside of hours in order to scale their income, make more money in a job they love. Now, I always say this is one of my favorite ideas, beliefs, quotes, whatever you want to call it. Work your 9 to 5, and then after hours work the 6 to 12 to fund the 24/7. And the reason why I say that is because your 9 to 5 can only get you so far. If your 6 to 12 continues to make money and then eventually outgrows your 9 to 5 income, then you can fund your 24/7 and the rest of your life doing something you love that you don't even have to think about making money because you do it anyway. That's number 2. Number 3, in order to make a lot of money and become rich, you have to be a risk taker. Jeff Bezos in 1994 held 60 meetings with different family members in order to get a $50,000 investment each from them. Total of roughly $1 million was his aim. He eventually got there because 20 accepted and invested in the company. I'm sure if they held it, it'd be worth a lot today. But his parents also invested $250,000 between them to help fund his dreams and desires. Now, Bezos took a risk raising that money because it could fall to nothing and there'd be a lot of turmoil at the dinner table. Like, imagine a Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner when you've just lost your family $1 million in total. Very, very awkward. But especially in the world of entrepreneurship and business, the ability to manage risk is a very important factor in the succession of your company. It takes some experience, but practice risk management. Number 4, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a lot of money. Let's say you have $1,000 right now. In order to double that to $2,000, what do you have to do? Ask yourself that question. You could work for a week or 2 doing a part-time job. Cool, got $2,000. Now, how do we double that again to $4,000? Oh, we can continue working a part-time job for 3 weeks, let's say, make it $4,000. Then if we want to double that again, 4 to 8,000, then we have to work a month, maybe a month and a half to make the $8,000. Cool. Remember I told you, the $5,500 is a median net worth of ages 18 to 25. In what, 2-3 months at most, you're already well and truly above the median net worth of ages 18 to 25. So that's simple. Now this is the part that gets hard because you have to manage your risk management once again with your time horizon. Now, in the next year, again, I could double it and make 16 grand or more. However, how about we trade our time for future money? We leverage it. What I'm doing right now, YouTube, hoping to leverage it for the future. That is the idea of scaling an income source and hoping for exponential returns in the future. Or, again, you risk losing all that initial capital, and just like Jeff Bezos did, you could lose it all and be seen bad in the eyes of friends or family who invested you or invested their time in hoping that you become something. But is that worth millions of billions of dollars? You ask me. Scared money doesn't make money. The rich weren't scared to go broke in order to pursue riches and happiness. That is what you need to learn in step number 5. Step number 4. Now, step number 5. And it's don't keep all your money in a savings account. Your money is sitting there earning, me at first, when I turned 18 in the height of 2021, I'm January, so 2020 to 2021, the height of COVID, I was switching bank because I turned 18, that was the adult age. I switched bank accounts, still the same bank, different bank accounts. The interest I was going to be getting for bonus interest was 0.3%. However, I could invest that money, let's say 20 grand. 0.3% of 20 grand is $60 I get every year from 20 grand in a bank account. That is not worth it. Instead, let's go and invest it into an index fund. Like I always talk with the NASDAQ 100 ETF here in Australia, but that's the same as SPY or SPDR, whatever it is in the US. It's the biggest companies in America, essentially. All the world, there's lots of ETFs you can choose from. Now, that pays me a 3% annual dividend. So instead of $60, I get $600 for doing nothing and guaranteed, essentially. I shouldn't say guaranteed because they could technically cut it off. However, they're not going to do that. So $600 guaranteed. Plus, hopefully, it averages 10% every year from here on out into the future. That is how you make money. The other thing I think about is inflation is what, 8-9% roughly? Probably more, really. They're not telling us all the numbers. So, you tell me, if putting your money in a savings account, 0.3%, take away 10%, let's say, you're losing 9% of your money every year because it's sitting in a bank account. Stupid. It dissipates like water vapor in front of your eyes. They print more and more money every year, and the laws of supply and demand will money will work against you and out of your favor because of inflation. Buy assets, don't be stupid. That was my 5th step. The 6th lesson, strong body, strong mind. You look at Mark Zuckerberg right now. He's trained heavily in mixed martial arts. He always serves. He grew up in a childhood household where they focused on sports and training yourself. This all physically condenses your mind, makes you smarter, makes your brain work harder. It creates habits of working hard, and that's what's best for you. Your mind will be stronger. You think of other things less because you're always focused on the training, on the work, whatever you're doing. That's allowing you to make more money, and this physical benefit instills a hard work ethic within you to become richer. That's lesson number 6. Number 7, make your money move. And the reason why I say this is, again, at the moment, interest rates in bank accounts are about 2%. I hold my money in Commonwealth Bank. No reason at all, Commonwealth Bank. Now, if I invest in Commonwealth Bank, the actual stock, instead of 2%, I get a 4% yield for doing nothing, and hopefully, again, the stock goes up. That is important. Now, I don't necessarily recommend investing in banks because personally it's not my circle of competence, but if it is in yours, think about it. Invest in something that you know, you enjoy, have a real conscious feeling about. Me, it's tech and the idea of attention being stored in phones, whatever it is, computers. That's lesson number 7, make your money move. Now, number 8, have an emergency fund. We don't know when the next global financial crisis or recession is, like 2008. We don't know when the next pandemic like 2020 is going to come. So have at least minimum 6 months of your expenditures stored in an account or in your savings account that you cannot touch unless you need to in the act of an emergency. Spare cash can help you maneuver your way out of difficult circumstances. Always be prepared for the worst. That's lesson number 8. Number 9, don't spend your whole life savings on a car. I've said this story about myself. I was prepared when I turned 18. Most 18-year-olds who just get their probationary learner's license tend to get a car, obviously. And they haven't learned anything about money and adhere to make stupid decisions, realistically stupid decisions like buying an expensive car. Let me tell you this. My personal story with cars, when I turned 18, I was looking at buying a $22,000 car. Now, instead, because I realised soon after that insurance came in, rego came in, services came in, petrol came in. It was going to be at least $5,000 a year to hold having a car. Instead, I had my dad's second-hand car, the car he had, for about $8,000. Saved me not only 14 grand, but also possibly 2 grand a year, let's say, every year indefinitely. And the thing is, you may think your nice new fancy car look good. I tell you what, in 3 years' time, it's not so new and fancy anymore. Every year, a new model comes out. You're the old model, you don't need it. And the best part is, the people who tend to get the cheaper cars and then work on themselves, get more money, then they get the nice cars. When they have $1 million in the bank and they can afford a $40,000, $50,000 car. At least $1 million. Don't buy an expensive car until you have $1 million. That's going to be lesson number 9. Lesson number 10. This is my favorite lesson. Money is like water. It flows. Pretend this. The government is the clouds in the sky. Now, when they print money, all the rainfall drops like water. Now, the poorer people, lower middle class will say, they are the plants. The water goes into the roots. We make a little bit of money from water from the plants. So hopefully we can grow into bigger plants, trees, whatever. Now, the rich people are the humans. I want to explain this. The plants always use their water and store it. However, humans harvest the corn, the tomatoes, the peas. I don't know. I'm thinking of random things here. They harvest it and get more energy from it. They get more energy from the water, essentially. Now, how this works is the plants use some of their water from the roots to give to the people. And the people, the companies, the rich people, they got all the food in the world because there's so many people living paycheck to paycheck. It's something like 80-90% are living paycheck to paycheck, no matter how much money you make. All the companies are making all this money, all of it. And the best part is the final part. Remember the clouds of the government. When the sun beats down, water vaporizes in the air from all the streams and rivers and oceans and roots. That's the 30, 40%, 50% tax you got to pay. It all just disappears in thin air, the money. It goes all to the government, it rains down again because they print more money. All the government, they buy, rains down again. That's lesson number 10. Money is like water. But I want to extend on that. Because how can the plants become humans? This is where the analogy falls a little bit. Because plants have become humans. However, it's the same idea. How can the plants interrupt the money? How do they get in the way of the flow of the water and then grow bigger and bigger? That's where you got to place yourself. Maybe you're like an umbrella who shields from the rain because all the rain falls on you, or you go on the bank of a river. All the water is next to you, all the money is next to you, and then eventually the plant becomes a human, I suppose. That's lesson number 10, truthfully. Lesson number 11, look at what smart money does. We can look at all the famous investors, the Warren Buffetts, the Charlie Mungers, entrepreneurs like Grant Cardone, Alex Hormozi. We can read their books, listen to podcasts, watch the annual shareholder meetings, but don't completely copy them. Don't look at everything they do and say, I have to do the exact same thing. That's just plain dumb. I like to do this with the controversial people as well. I like to take in the opinions of the smart people, take in all the opinions and create your own opinion, your own idea. So instead, what I want you to do, take in the opinions, look at the 13F filings. If you know what a 13F filing is, basically it gets all the every big investor to do this. They get all the smart investors and quarterly they have to report what they invest in terms of stocks. So Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger have to do this. Mohnish Pabrai, all those other people, they have to do this. Now, looking recently, Google and Meta, we can look at those companies and say, cool, they're looking at the ad revenue business. See, you gotta think. They're looking at ad revenue businesses. They think ad rates are down because of the global economy. So when it goes back up, the ad rates, people want to advertise more when there's not inflation and people have less money. When the money's flowing again, like 2020 and 21, then the stocks will boom, revenues will rise, and off we go again to the moon. So it doesn't mean, Warren Buffett bought more Apple stocks. So let's load the boat. Don't copy. Take in all the information you can, make your own decision. As Warren Buffett always says, circle of competence, invest in your circle of competence. He didn't invest in tech stocks for a long time. Apple's a bit different, but he didn't invest in it. I don't invest in banking. Not really interested. Foods, not really. Tech, I love listening to it. I love watching it. I love paying attention to attention. That is lesson number 11. Lesson number 12 is don't compare yourself to others. I've got 2 friends on TikTok who have amassed roughly 130,000 followers recently. And they do, the short, funny skits. They're actually really, really entertaining. They're called Those Guys. And I went to school with them. One of my best mates is one of them, who I live really close to. And I look at myself and I'm like, oh, I've been doing this for almost a year now. I've got 60 subscribers. Instead of thinking, I should be jealous, I should envy, why do I not deserve to have that? Instead, I should be like, these are my friends we're talking about. I should be proud of them. I should look at them and say, applaud them for what they've done, the hard work. They've only been doing it for a couple months and it's great they're doing it. And I hope they continue. I might have to show them this, I don't know. But the point is, don't compare yourself, especially if they're your friends. Applaud them, praise them, they're doing very well. However, put your head down, keep grinding, keep working, and eventually you'll get there, because one day it will all change. It only takes one video, one moment, in whatever you do, one art piece. I don't know what you do, but whatever you choose to do, it only takes one moment and your life can change. That's lesson number 12, pay attention to that one. Lesson number 13 is reach out. Now, I love this analogy. I want you to instill in your mind a new way of thinking. I want you to think of a shadow version of you that is always in front of you, not behind you. It's a shadow of you. The reason why I say this is, pretend that shadow is the better version of you. The person who, when they want to do 100 push-ups, they do 100 push-ups. Not only do 100 push-ups, but do the extra mile. The extra mile is the important part. When, for myself, I'm starting to do it, but I want to interview people. So instead of saying, I'm scared to talk to a random stranger or I'm scared to talk to a friend, how about you go to them, interview them, and have some fun with it? That's what the shadow would do. That's what the shadow would do with business. Instead of not sitting there on your ass and thinking, I want to start a business, talk to someone who's already in business. It could be a simple, small business around the corner. They're happy to talk to you. Just talk to them. Strangers are great people to talk to. You should be relentless, tenacious, and determined in everything you do. If the shadow wants to do 200 push-ups, you do 400. Let's say you want to start an e-commerce business and you had a friend in high school who started one. You don't know if they did well. You don't know much about it or much about them and how they're succeeding or failing in it. However, you can leverage the failures. You reach out to them, you talk to them, you leverage the failures they may have learned and say, at least I don't have to go through that. Now I know not to do that and grow bigger. This is the same thing. My friends have reached out to me. I've had dozens of people talk saying, especially with crypto, because they don't understand it. They're like, Hayden, explain this crypto concept. I'm like, cool. This is what it is. Bitcoin, Ethereum, proof of stake, proof of work, staking. Again, I explain it to them. Same as ETFs, I explain it to them. They may not take the advice on board, but at least they reached out and they learned something new. Okay? And maybe they're like, maybe it's not for me. I advise not, but maybe they say it's maybe not for me. That's lesson 13. Always reach out, because reaching out is the most important thing to do in life. Net worth is your network. Network is your net worth. Whichever way around you say it, it kind of doesn't matter. That's lesson number 13. Lesson number 14 is my final lesson, and that's the idea of lifestyle inflation. I'm sure I've explained this in the previous video. I know I have. Let's say a person who's making $80,000, they get a raise to $100,000. They see the extra zero in the bank account and say, oh my God, I'm rich now. They celebrate every weekend, They celebrate every weekend. They think it's the happiest thing in their life, this new promotion. Truth be told, it's $20,000, not that much to start with, and after tax, it's 13 grand. You got a 13 grand promotion. Why are you celebrating every weekend? I understand celebrating at first. I guess treat yourself to an extent, but it's not worth a lifestyle inflation. A 20 grand raise is only 25%. This doesn't mean you double the size of your house, you double the price of your car. It's just keep it the same. It's no different. Life hasn't changed. 25% isn't exponentially bigger, is it? It's not. Stop falling for lifestyle inflation. That's lesson number 14. Anyway, that was Hayden. I hope these rules and habits, these 14 rules and habits have really taught you something, especially for a young person like myself. 18 to 25 is the age bracket that most of my videos are watched by. Learn something new. Don't watch me as just me. Watch other people. They're great at explaining things. Keep watching. Keep loving, keep enjoying. Enjoy your day. Hey now.